David Alexander of Caljet, how are you?
I am just fine, having a great day. Glad to be with you again.
Well, we are so honored to have you here and talk to you. We honored you in our top 100 last year, and for all kinds of amazing reasons. And we'll talk about a lot of them. But first of all, we just want to congratulate you for being one of the very successful companies in America and very successful leaders that realizes that serving people is the whole point of business, and that capitalism works best when it realizes that. So thanks for doing what you do, Dave.
You're welcome. It's been a lot of fun.
Okay, so there's so many incredible things to talk about, with you. And for full disclosure, for our viewers and readers, I've known you for years, and you're an amazing guy, and we could talk for hours, obviously. But we want to let our readers and our viewers know, first of all, what you did just from a business perspective. Founding your company back in the '80s. I think it was 1982. The famous story of $1,000 credit card loan that helped you to start this multi-million-dollar company. And it was an industry that you went into where there was essentially a monopoly on fuel storage in the Arizona area, and you came into this as the new guy on the block. And within 30 years, you were the leading company for fuel storage in Arizona. And if that weren't enough, just accomplishing that, it's how you did it. And the idea that you did it by taking care of people better than your competitor. Tell us a little bit about that and how you did that and why you did that.
I found out at a very early age, when you give back, you keep people's loyalty and dedication. But let me give you a little brief description of who Dave is. 5 years ago, I was made one of the most caring people in America by the Caring Institute in Washington, D.C. Then at the ceremony where I was inducted, another person who was inducted, Ken Blanchard, I'd gotten a full room standing ovation. He speaks all over the world, has done 60 books, has a crew of 350, and he got a polite clap. After the meeting, he came over and asked me to borrow the subject matter that I used, which is called my Mount Rushmore. And I keep running into people. I went to a very long, arduous race called the Escape from Alcatraz. A man came up to me. He thought I was one of the people putting on the race. Then he apologized when he found out that I was another competitor. He wrote a wonderful article and called me larger than life, physically and emotionally and mentally. Then I was invited to the Legends and Fans meeting put on by the Boys and Girls Club, and they were honoring not only me, but Roger Staubach, Mean Joe Green, Johnny Rutherford, Tony Dorsett, etc. I'd become a cult figure in the sport of triathlon and a symbol to millions of overweight and aged people, as a reminder that the muscle that's most important in the body is the brain. And I just received more accolades because I got there. Here I was, short, fat, and bald, but I always got there. And I got accolades from all over the world. And I've done it with a lot of supporting people. And every one of my reports, of which I only have 3, their mission statement is, I give Dave peace of mind. And that's different for each one, whether it's my CFO, the operations people, or marketing, of course. But the most important person in my life supporting me, and I support her, is my wife. And we support each other, and that's a big part of my success. And I convinced her at the very beginning of our relationship that we celebrate the events in life, not the day. because to be successful, I was going to have to travel. I was going to be gone on birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, but we would always celebrate the event. But she was strong and had to put up with her mother and sisters and everything else. But she did. And it's been good for both of us. But my employees, I have to give them peace of mind also. I don't give every one of them, of course, the financial statements, but I demonstrate to them that we're a strong company and they're going to be taken care of. My employees get a Cadillac health insurance policy for $1 a paycheck.
Wow.
Yeah, that's unheard of. Comes right out of my wallet, but it's worth it to build dedication and everything else. And banks, I give them information before they ask for it to give them peace of mind also. Same thing with our customers. We keep our facilities so clean you can eat off the streets. And business associates, my CFO, when he came to work, he slammed me because I was handwriting checks and taking them out to contractors, just give them progress money just cause. And he stopped me doing that. He didn't like it. But did the contractors like it? So our mission statement basically is customer convenience and value-added service. And we demonstrate that to all of the people around us. And I've surrounded myself with loyal, passionate people, and I've been training them in the Boy Scout oath, law, and motto. And that's such an important thing for me in my life, but also to show them. You have a new employee, you bring them in, shut the door and say, you need to be trustworthy, because it's trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. If you're not loyal to yourself, your family, your coworkers, the customers in this company, I'm going to send you down the road.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be loyal. And we keep going over all of the different parts of the Scout Law to make them stronger people. But the most important one is the very simple motto that's good for every person in the world. Be prepared. You got to be prepared for life in so many different ways. It's changing. As I get older, I'm having to prepare for different things as I age. But giving back in this country, it's really, and I find it quite easy to make money. What's difficult and that I'm most passionate and learning about all the time is how you give back to make a difference in the world and those around you. It makes a difference in my employees' life that they have medical insurance, a really high quality one for $1 a paycheck. What kind of peace of mind is that for their family? So my passion in life is the Boy Scouts, and it really made me who I am. And I just love the Scouts, and I give tremendous amounts of money. And I'm on the National Executive Board, and just having a great time working with them. Actually, I'm working at such a high level, I just like it sometimes because I'd rather be out there with the Scouts, and I do as much public speaking and meeting with the kids as I can, but it's very difficult running 11 businesses and also doing that. But I do find a way to do it.
And you literally, they have that saying, when someone is incredibly good, so good that it's unbelievable that they're, that they're a Boy Scout. You actually are one of the oldest, most successful Boy Scouts, in my opinion, at least in America, and that you do live this every day. And you live the motto, you live the oath, you live this way of doing business. And this has achieved for you extraordinary success. I mean, what is the number now? The number of barrels of storage that you guys do? It's
we've got about 1.5 million barrels. I started with 135. We handle, trade, and sell over 8 billion a year in products, starting with that $1,000 borrowed on a credit card. And we built a lot of storage. It's very expensive to build, and all the connectivity, electronics, everything else. And today we have no debt.
Wow, wow. And
So
one of the things that I've seen, and that you talk about that I think is extraordinary. You talk about your customers. People obviously will think of the huge corporations and companies that you're carrying gas for, carrying fuel for, but the truckers that bring that in.
yes.
I've seen you drive around your facility and have one-on-one conversations with these guys, and what makes you do that?
I love the interaction with people, and it's very seldom that the leader of a large company goes out and mingles with the truck drivers. But I find that very important. Also, if they have an issue, I believe them. They're not going to lie to me. They're not going to make up stories, and I take care of it. But mostly they're celebrating and thanking us for what a great job that our company does for them and the way they were treated by my employees. And I've got to keep that going.
What makes you do that on a day-to-day basis? What kind of feedback do you get that says to you you're doing it right?
Well, I make money, and I'd be able to compensate my employees well and give back to society. And I do a lot.
It's great that you just said that so straight out like that, because I think a lot of people think that to run a multi-million dollar business and to succeed, you've got to be super focused on facts and figures, and you are. I mean, you've got an incredible attentiveness to all that, but you never forget that the people part of that equation. And are there times when you have to kind of convince other people in your company that that's the better way to do business? Maybe when dollars and cents might not be right in front of you, but you know that that's the right way to do it?
Well, it's very easy. We pay very well, and we have wonderful benefits. And I let them all know how much that insurance costs me a year to give it to them at $1. That comes right out of my pocket and my partners' investors' pockets. And they realize what a big deal that is. And it makes them happy, and knowing that if they have a medical problem, they're going to be taken care of with their family. And it's just it's like you come here, it's a family, and you've seen it.
Yeah.
It's been very emotional, and all the accolades that I've had over the years, I've never asked for them. They just keep happening. And if you don't mind, I want to talk about you for a moment. Because in one of our meetings, I was telling you how emotional it is and how tear-jerking because of all these awards. And you said the following: it's a lifetime of emotion coming out. You worked hard and did a lot of things for a lot of people, and you're finally getting a chance to see all of that through other people's eyes, and that's a beautiful thing. And those are beautiful words, and I want to thank you, my friend, for saying.
Well, you're very welcome for that, and that's very nice of you to say. And it came from my heart. It's very true. It is who you are, and I think you're one of the greatest testaments and lessons for so many of the other CEOs and leaders that we have a chance to honor, and they all do great things. But I don't think I've ever seen a greater example of somebody that realizes that you can do both. You can have a business mind that is constantly thinking about how to grow, how to develop, and also at that same time be thinking of how to help your people grow and develop. And you're always thinking about that. And I would love you to share. You have told me so many wonderful stories like this, but tell our viewers a little bit about one of the things that you do with employees, bringing them into your office sometimes and kind of shocking them by just asking them what.
Tell me your life story roughly since birth. That's my favorite opening line.
And what's the reaction?
They'll talk to me. They open to me, and they get comfortable knowing that the owner of the company called them in, but not to rip them, just to meet them and to learn more about them and to see how I can help them over the years, as well as they help me. And so then I discuss an idea that I learned from a friend called My Mount Rushmore. And Mount Rushmore, of course, has the heads of the presidents that got my phone's ringing. Sorry. So anyway, what's happened, Chris, is that those men that founded America, that built it and developed it, that's fine. But who built you? And so I talked to them about that, and I said, I'm going to tell you who built me. I have to have a mountain range with all the people that have helped build me and who I am today. And the number one was probably my father and my sister, who was almost like a mother because she was 12 years old when I was born, living in a 700 square foot house, and we shared a bedroom. Then my scoutmaster in the Boy Scouts was an amazing man. And then my business partner, Craig Allen Carden, my wife, Marilyn, who all the people in philanthropy call her Bubbles because that's her personality. But then I get to all the people. There are thousands of them. That's why my Mount Rushmore it's a whole mountain range. And one of the biggest ones that I think about with all the awards and things that I've done, I haven't won races, but I've been in so many long, hard ones. I get all this press. One of my heroes is a man who I've never been able to speak to. He's a Turkish one-legged triathlete. When I say one-legged, he's missing his one leg at the hip.
Wow.
Swimming, he needs help getting into the water. And of course, then he can swim just fine. Coming out, they have crutches for him, and he gets up and ambles on, and he gets on a bicycle, a regular bicycle, not a recumbent, anything else, and he rides with one pedal. And that particular course is fairly hilly, and that leg has to be so strong to take him up and down the hill with one leg.
Wow.
Then he finishes the bike, and he's going to do a run. Does he do it in a wheelchair the way most athletes do? No. He does the run, which was a 10K with crutches. That man is my hero. I don't deserve any adulation. He does. An amazing man. I wish I could speak with him and pour out my emotions to him. And if I get back there, I'll certainly look him up and try to do that. He is certainly one of my great mentors and my Mount Rushmore heads.
And that's a good segue into something that we need to let our readers know, or our viewers know, because you've mentioned it a couple of times, and it's just another really extraordinary thing about you. You've run over 300 triathlons in your life, if I'm correct, right?
287 triathlons in 37 countries, a total of 500 multi-sport races all over the world. And it's been quite a ride. And I have friends all over the world. And recently it's been tough to travel and visit them, but that'll start up again soon. I'm developing the sport of triathlon for the Boy Scouts. We put on our first one, and now we'll spread it around the world. The King of Sweden, who's the honorary chairman of the World Scouting Federation, has honored me, and I'm going to develop races for him all over the world. And I'm just a passionate person about everything I do. I'm passionate.
But once again, that passion, with that kind of notoriety, and you've been written about in the New York Times, you've been written about People magazine, all kinds of publications. Yeah. And instead of using that notoriety, though, for your own gain, you're constantly looking for ways to help other people, which is one of the most extraordinary things about you. You talked about the Boy Scouts and whatnot and doing a triathlon, but you've also, again, got an incredible accolade, if you will, but what you've done to help uh, locally in your Arizona area, there's a very special team of triathletes that you have helped, right?
Yes, I have.
Tell everybody about that a little bit because that really is amazing.
Well, I'm not a good athlete, but I'm a famous one. Just for what I've done, that I've participated in so many events all over the world. And I just have a passion for it. I was always there at races and what they called the big four, the four men that won all the races everywhere. I became good friends with them. They respected me because they knew I just wasn't covering the distance, that I was racing to the best ability that God gave me the assets to do. And many times I was last, but they knew I was trying as hard as I could. And they would wait around for me at the finish line to congratulate me, and then we'd go out and have pizza and beer. It was quite rewarding to be friends with the world's most elite at that sport.
And you've really used this as an opportunity to bring goodwill everywhere you've gone, right? And to kind of represent America and represent,
People called me a lot of different things, the traveling ambassador of triathlon. Just they kept making up titles and names because they like me.
Yeah, and now you've helped the ASU women's triathletes as well, right?
Yes, I have. I'm their main sponsor, and they've won the national championship 6 times in a row.
Wow,
Which is
wow,
really amazing.
yeah, that really is. Okay, so there's so much that we could talk about with you, but I would love to just wrap up with you giving some insight to other CEOs and other leaders because you are such a wonderful example of this. You know, we're in a time right now when capitalism and business gets a lot of criticism. In spite of the fact that we know and we talk about how, when business is done right, it can help, so many people. We created this section to really drive that point home. But with all the criticisms that is out there and whatnot, what would your advice to other business leaders be on how to deflect that or maybe how to do business better and be more successful, but also do what's right and take care of people? What would your advice be?
Don't always think about yourself. Think about the other side and taking care of your employees so they can take care of you better. And that happens.
I love that. I love that, Dave. Well, hey, Dave, thank you so much for taking this time, and I'm sure this will not be the last time we visit with you because we would love to, maybe take a look at some of the other things you're doing and really check in with you from time to time. So hopefully, if that's okay, we'll have to do this again.
Absolutely. I would enjoy that.
Thanks,
Thank
Dave.
you so much. Bye
Okay,
bye.
bye bye.